this just changed everything for the Bloodline, with details revealed that The Rock may be behind the gruesome attack on Kevin Owens last night on SmackDown. Plus, with all the stuff that happened surrounding the Bloodline last night, what does that mean for the future of the Bloodline and the future big PLEs that are yet to come this year within the WWE? We're going to break it all down for you coming up on this episode of Wrestle Digest. But before we get into it, we got to say that 89% of you guys watching these videos aren't subscribed to the channel. So if you're looking for a place for wrestling content on YouTube, maybe a second, third home for it, we're going to be here every day bringing you updates, rumors, everything that's happened around the WWE and the wrestling world. So you're not going to want to miss out on that. So go down below and hit that subscribe button. But with that said, let's get right into the first topic of the video, which is Bloodline 2.0 is dangerous. And yes, we're just going to quickly run through what happened on SmackDown last night if you missed it. And before Solo Sikoa went out into the ring with Paul Heyman said, "I don't want to get you mad, but there's only one guy who can make these decisions. Someday you will be that guy, but right now you aren't." And then Solo quickly stormed to the ring and introduced Tama Tonga as his MFT, where Tama Tonga came out with a bloody Kevin Owens, and
bloody Kevin.
And he came out, and we didn't know what happened. It came out backstage, all bloodied. He could barely stand, and then we get in the ring, and they bet him up with a Samoan spike from Solo. They came with the chair, but he didn't get the upper hand. And then we were revealed what happened backstage when there was a car crash back outside in the parking lot where Tama Tonga ran into Kevin Owens' car with his own, and Nick Aldis then said to Paul Heyman, "This can't be happening. You got to keep your bloodline under control. And, if this happens again, there's going to be some implications." And Paul Heyman said this was not authorized by the tribal chief. And Nick Aldis, like a classic manager, he says, this is going to be carried out in the ring next week on SmackDown during the draft. But Josh, this is huge news coming out of the Bloodline. A lot of stuff kind of unfolded last night that has led a lot of people to believe that The Rock may be behind this whole attack.
Yeah, there's a lot of theories going out there. But before we get into that, I just wanted to give a shout out to Nick Aldis, who's done such an amazing job, right? And with, some recent references in Cody Rhodes' promo talking about AJ Styles to even like the NWA and stuff like that. Who knows? Maybe we'll get a Nick Aldis match someday. But when we're talking about the Bloodline, a lot of people were speculating many different things, mostly what MFT stands for, with some interesting theories going out there. But one thing, Casey, that we kind of agreed on, and we saw this theory some places but not everywhere, when you look at Kevin Owens, there's a reason they brought him out there bloodied up, right? Now, I know we say the PG era is over, whatever, but the theme of making people bleed, Triple H, Paul Levesque himself said, you gotta make that count. When you do it, it needs to be in a specific moment to carry on a story. Well, what story has had that become, the most important piece of it other than The Rock and Cody Rhodes, this whole theme of I'm going to make you bleed. Cody Rhodes promo last week saying, "Hey, Rock, if you're going to make me bleed, I'm going to make you bleed as well." And so we didn't really see much blood other than that until Kevin Owens comes out all bloodied up. Now, this is what I believe, Casey. I know there's a lot of theories about Solo Sikoa being the tribal chief, and he is certainly acting like it. He's in the ring. It's a very different vibe to when Roman was there. Solo was dressed in a fancy, blazer, whereas Roman always had his hoodie on, looked like he was out for a morning jog. Solo was much more serious, not as forgiving, it seems. But all that said, when you look at Kevin Owens coming out, I assume Solo maybe told something to Tama Tonga. But the use of blood specifically, the use of him being bloodied up, that ties in so well to this Cody Rock back and forth that we've heard. It feels like it has to be intentional to say, hey, The Rock is involved in this. Now, where that leads, we're not sure. There have been a lot of reports saying maybe Cody Rhodes versus Rock at SummerSlam, maybe next year, Royal Rumble, Mania, whatever it may be. But this is what I believe. You use the blood for a very specific reason. Triple H has been very clear about that. And I feel like it just ties in too well for this not to at least be tangentially related to this "you make me bleed, I'll make you bleed as well" storyline.
Yeah, and we know Triple H likes to drop those hints along the way, which I think you're on the right track here, that the use of blood kind of ties in with the whole Cody and Rock feud, that it kind of makes everybody believe that The Rock is kind of behind this attack and behind the Bloodline 2.0 while Roman is gone. Obviously, we see Paul Heyman saying this isn't authorized, like still Roman is his tribal chief, and right now he's kind of held hostage by Solo Sikoa, because if he leaves, Tonga is just going to beat him up and leave, him a pulp in the ring. Like, Paul Heyman's not going to be able to defend himself against Tonga, but yeah, it's crazy. I love the story. I love the way it's been going here with the Bloodline, and I think, like you said, with The Rock looking to be behind these attacks, it really sets up for that SummerSlam match between The Rock and Cody. For them, Roman is booked for the go-home SmackDown before SummerSlam, for him to maybe come out and interfere in that match with The Rock, saying, you took over like what I've built over this last 3 years and just ruined it. And this kind of sets up The Rock and Roman at WrestleMania 41, and then eventually the Survivor Series War Games between the Bloodline.
Yeah, so there's a lot of seeds planted here, right? The War Games make so much sense. The SummerSlam, we're piecing together the story, and what I do like is while the WWE has been a bit unpredictable, they've left enough hints that if you really pay attention, you can often kind of predict what the outcome's going to be, which is nice. This could be true, maybe it's not. And I know a lot of this it depends on The Rock's schedule. Let's be honest. This dude's one of the most famous people in the world. But regardless of, how The Rock might get involved, I think I want to transition a bit to how this affects the Bloodline going forward. Regardless of who's in charge, whether it is Solo or whether it is The Rock, we have seen a distinct shift in attitude. We've seen when Solo was with Roman Reigns, Solo was always the one saying, let's just do it, let's finish it, come on. Always pushing, Roman more being like, I know, we got this, whatever. Again, I've talked about the dress code, but also how aggressive they've been. Like, obviously, Roman was the more laid back. He relied on his wise man. He really respected Paul Heyman's opinion, and Roman couldn't win a match without cheating, it felt like, and I feel like Solo began to resent him for that. And now Tama Tonga's been in the WWE for a week, 2 weeks, and he's already attempted to murder someone, and in classic WWE fashion, attempted murder leads to a match. Anyway, but when we're talking about this, Solo or whoever's in charge is changing the dynamic here. This has turned from, we are the leaders, we are the big champions, we are going to run this show, to, we are going to hurt you. We are going to destroy you if you so much as say something we don't like. And that kind of tonal shift, I think, fits very, very well for a potential Roman Reigns babyface turn very soon, right? The crowd was chanting, like you said, we want Roman. So I think this opens up way more doors than we would have thought, right? Solo was being presented as the most intimidating of his entire career. He had Paul Heyman cowering in fear. This was Solo's chance to make people scared of him. They were booing him like crazy. And hey, I think he really capitalized on it.
Yeah, I definitely agree with you. And it kind of looks like the early days of the Shield to me, just the way that they're doing these malicious attacks, which I know that kind of links it up a little bit with Roman Reigns there. But I really do think that just the way that The Rock left, he said he's going away for a little bit, but he'll be back for Cody. It kind of seems like maybe he's, into the ear of Solo, who was then into the ear of Tama Tonga, to make these decisions happen for this team. And like you said, they're very different, different people between Roman and Solo. We got Solo, who's more the malicious guy. He's going to send you out to attack people, just to hurt them. And then, Roman Reigns had that mindset, but he also had Paul Heyman whispering in his ear to kind of calm him down, which is really nice to see the contrast of the two leaders here within the Bloodline. And I think this story is really going to be developing over this next little while into Backlash and post Backlash. I think it's really going to be fun to see what they do with Jimmy Uso as well, because we did not see him last night. So maybe he reunites with his brother. Maybe there's a big apology, something like that as well. But this story is really going to be fun over this next year to see what happens. And it seems like every year the Bloodline storyline kind of has a stranglehold on all the WWE universe.
It feels like it's never going to end, right? Like it's kind of crazy how well they've done to advance this story, and it just goes to show that you needed Roman to lose to make this story mean something again. It started to get stale. Let's just change it up. And you're very right with the Paul Heyman stuff. Like he went from being a respected advisor, giving his advice, to someone who's cowering in fear, but still probably needs to, in fear of his own safety. And I feel like eventually we're going to see Solo and Tonga be ready to attack Paul Heyman, only for Roman Reigns to maybe come out and save them, as opposed to Roman Reigns interfering in a match. So a lot of seeds planted. I mean, we could go into this for days and days, but regardless, I am super excited to see how they follow this up. I'm really excited to see what Tama Tonga and maybe Jacob Fatu can do in the storyline, because I think there's a lot of untapped potential, a lot of untapped talent. There's going to be a lot of great matches. Some people even speculating Solo and Tama Tonga running through the tag division. I don't even know, but what I can say is they've done a phenomenal job at advancing this storyline.
Yeah, 100% I have to agree with what you're saying. And what I've seen a lot of people say online is they're missing one guy. It's only two of them right now. So, like you said, it kind of leaves room for Jacob Fatu to come in and be a part of this Bloodline 2.0, which I'm really excited for, because this guy's a great wrestler. If you haven't checked out his work, you got to go look at it, because he's going to really light up the WWE, in my opinion. But we want to hear your guys' craziest theories on everything that's happening around the Bloodline. Where do you think the story's going? Let us know down below in the comment section. We're going to get everybody's favorite topic here on the channel, which is comment of the day. And the comment of the day today goes to Nkrumah Jr. He says, new sub, really enjoying the content. Keep it up, guys. We really just shout out to you, Nkrumah. Really appreciate you commenting on the video, showing your support. Means the world to us here on the channel, Josh.
Yeah, I mean, anyone that stops by, leaves a like, leaves a comment, and no matter who you are, when you watch, if you enjoy the stuff, we're super thankful. I mean, we're just a couple of guys, well, three of us just talking wrestling. We love discussing it, and we love hearing your guys' comments and feedback. So stuff like that really goes to our heart. So thank you very much to all of you watching this video.
You said it perfectly. And if you enjoyed this one, make sure down below, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Like I said, we're going to be here every day, sometimes multiple times a day, talking about wrestling. And if you're looking for a place to listen to some guys talk about wrestling and share your opinions, you found the right spot here at Wrestle Digest. And if you want to check out a video we did yesterday, it'll be popping up on your screen right now. But as always, I've been your host, KC, alongside my co-host, Josh Gosse. We'll catch you in the next one.